G'day Trailblazers, my name is Cam, and for today's video I'm going to demonstrate how to use the Code Snippet function in Content Builder. I'll show you how to make your own code snippet library and then take you through my top 5 code snippets you can copy and use right now. So firstly, what are code snippets? Well, you may have seen in Content Builder when you make yourself a brand new email or content block that you have these icons at the top of your screen here. Now a few of these are to do with AMPscript or personalization. This third from the right is the Insert Code Snippet icon. When you click on it, you'll see two sections, your saved snippets and the system snippets. Now these system snippets contain some useful code that you can use for your Marketing Cloud emails. For example, the view email as a web page snippet. You can see here it's all ready to go to insert into your email. But for today, let's have a closer look at the saved snippets. So with your saved snippets, you can create your very own code block snippets, which will then appear inside of this section of the snippet window. So let me show you how that works. So over in my Content Builder, all I have to do is create a new content block with the code snippet type. I can simply jump up into my Create button and choose a new content block and select Code Snippet. If this one, I'll say test code here, and I call this one my test snippet. Just like that, and I go Save. What you'll now find is if I go back into my Content Builder folders, I can create a new content block. Let's make a HTML block this time. I can see in my button here, when I click on it, I will see my test snippet now exists. If I click on it, it inserts the code that was inside of that test snippet. So let's have a look. If I go Insert Test Snippet, there it is there, test code here. One thing to be aware of is that the Code Snippet dropdown in Content Builder will pick up all content blocks with a code snippet type. So to keep things nice and clean, I recommend making a Code Snippets folder. This way you can save all your code snippet blocks into the one location, which makes it a lot easier if you want to clean up or modify some of your existing code snippet codes. So why are code snippets useful? Well, you may have found if you're developing cloud pages or emails in Marketing Cloud that you use the same AMPscript and SSJS over and over again. LookupRows, get query parameters, and so on. So you can use a code snippet to save your most common codes to reuse quickly. For example, if I'm making a personalization function for an email, which requires a data extension lookup and a for loop, I can jump into my code snippet here and pick up my AMPscript for loop LookupRows. And straight away, I now have my LookupRows function and a for loop already built for me. So let's take a look now at my top 5 code snippets you can use right now, starting with my AMPscript for loop and my LookupRows. As you can see, it's ready to go and it contains my LookupRows function, my row count for loop, as well as the field and row functions. All things that I use commonly when building personalization in my emails. Now my second code snippet you can use straight away is an AMPscript one for getting your SFMC token and making a sample post request to the Marketing Cloud API. I've got here in my code snippet some quick reference articles as well, in case I get lost and want some more help on this article here. I've also got my credentials ready to go, as well as my token call, a debug output, and then a sample call to the validate email endpoint in Marketing Cloud to make sure it all works, producing the results at the bottom. If I'm making API calls from Marketing Cloud into the REST API, or a third-party service for that matter, I find this AMPscript Baseplate to be a great starting point for those codes. It saves me a lot of time having to free type out all of those HTTP post functions and structuring those payloads. The next snippet I use is my SSJS Baseplate, a great way to start off making your SSJS codes in Marketing Cloud, as it has the platform load core function and the try catch errors all built in. I use this one every time I do SSJS, so it's a great one to have saved in my code snippets. My fourth code snippet is another SSJS one, this time for WSProxy. Again, when using WSProxy, there's quite a few things you have to type out, so it's great to have this all pre-written for me inside of my code snippets. This one here is an example one that does a simple data extension lookup, returning back the name, customer key, and the folder ID based on a name search for data extension. It also has a simple for loop built into it, so it returns a new row for every result in that returned payload, which makes it easier for me when I'm doing some SSJS development. And finally, for my fifth code snippet you can use right now is my SSJS get token and make a post call to the REST API in Marketing Cloud. This one's a bit bigger, but it is ready to go. Very similar to my AMPscript one, it's a simple plain text API credential setup with my client ID, secret, and auth URL, going to get my brand new token and my REST URL, and then make a sample API call to the Marketing Cloud REST API, again using the validate email address, but it's all here for me, so if I am making some API calls in the Marketing Cloud, I can simply jump in here and change my route, or change my token information, and it's all ready to go for me, making my dev time a lot quicker. And if you like the look of my code snippets, you want to try them out or copy them for yourself, then feel free to. I've got a link in the description below where you can jump onto my GitHub and find all 5 linked here. And if you enjoyed this video today, then please let me know in the comments below with a big thumbs up on the video. If you want to learn more about Marketing Cloud, then make sure you subscribe to my channel so that you're notified when I release more Salesforce Marketing Cloud content.